All right. Expectations, Pastor Mildred. If you're in the backstage, you've seen us talk about this. Well, I want us to do a quick reminder segment on expectations. All right. So I'm going to play a small video by Pastor Mildred, the wife of Pastor Kingsley-Okonkowo, 30 years marriage counselor, coach, pastor in Nigeria. They are also the daddy Gio and the mommy Gio of a church called DCC, I think. I think it's DCC, something like that. But anyway, I don't need all that introduction. I'm just trying to open the page. Hold on 1 second. Boom. There you go. There you go. Yay. Hold on 1 second. Wait. Okay, I think I have it. Okay. All right, so I have this video that I want us to play, and then we'll talk right after, if that's okay. All right. Let's shout out to Pastor Mildred. She was very nice in my encounter with the show they had in Staten Island, where I was able to volunteer courtesy of Natu. So let me see. Okay, there we go. There you go. So I'm gonna play this, and then let's talk about expectations. Let's do every now and then we have to do a little bit of reminder when it comes to some of this stuff. So let's do it.
Honestly, I thought that every morning my husband would wake me up with a kiss and say, "Sunshine, good morning." Now my expectation, now your expectation. So I had expectation, just that it was cut short. He wake up in the morning, just pass. And no, the normal approach would be, how can you just see somebody in the morning, you won't say good morning? What's the problem? But I started greeting him. God just said, do whatever you want your partner to do for you. Take the initiative and do it for them. And so I'd wake up in the morning and I say, "Good morning, honey." He was sometimes, I walk past. Or, and I kept doing this. So one morning he woke up and said to me, "Good morning, baby," and kissed me on the forehead. I say, this thing, they work. So if it worked with that, then it worked with money. I found out that that's the secret for him. So you may need to be a bit more patient and then take the initiative and show the person. Don't always make it about fighting and shouting. However, if you're one of those people who think that if I correct my wife, she will cry, that's why I don't like correcting her. It's dangerous even for her. Cry no dey kill anybody. She cry, she will clean her eye. Eye where they cry, they see road. She will do the right thing.
Interesting. Okay, so apparently they are coming back to Edmonton. All right, so
honestly, I thought that every morning,
hold on 1 second.
My husband would wake me up with a kiss and say.
So she thought that every morning that her husband would wake her up with a kiss, like every morning, right? So everyone have, like most women especially, have their own different versions of that similar type of expectations. Now it's very easy to pick on that as a well, you have your own expectations too, right? It might not just be a kiss, but everyone had something they fantasized about, what they thought marriage was supposed to be like, and then everyone has something like that, and then you get to a point you realize that it's not exactly what you thought it would be, right? So our own was a kiss on the forehead in the morning. Let's keep going.
Say, "Sunshine, good morning." Now my expectation, now your expectation. So I had expectation, just that it was cut short. He wake up in the morning, just pass. And no,
So people, I've heard people try to preach and say, "Hey, remove all that expectation." I'm like, no, like, what do you mean remove the expectation? That's unrealistic expectations on its own. We can't remove expectations. Some of these expectations are deeply rooted. They have been pre-programmed into your brain, the way you were raised, what kind of TV shows you were watching growing up, what kind of magazines you were watching, right? All of us have some kind of expectations that will get cut short when reality kicks in someday, right? So asking people to remove that is unrealistic expectations on its own. So what is the solution then? Let's keep going. Hold on 1 second.
Normal approach would be, how can you just see somebody in the morning, you won't say good morning? What's the problem?
How can you see somebody in the morning and not say good morning? Depends on how you were raised. If a bunch of boys sleeping in the same room on the bunkers, there's 2 bunkers in the same room, it's about 5 of them. 2 people sleep on one and then one person sleep on the other ones, and somebody sleep on the floor, right? And when they wake up in the morning, they're brushing teeth. Everybody is grumpy. There's one of them that's not really a morning person. There's three of them that's really not any time of the day person. Everybody just holding, they just do what they have to do, and then they go their separate ways to schools, right? Some people go to school with their siblings. When they're in school, they don't talk to their sibling throughout the school day. Wasn't that you? That wasn't you. So but your own family is a little different. You guys were posh. She said, "Good morning, sister." I don't know if that's how they raised you, right? Right? So now when you get married, you have that same expectation, and then he shocked you. Let's keep going.
I started greeting him. God just said, do whatever you see wants your partner to do for you. Take the initiative and do it for them. And so
take the initiative and do it for them. The spirit is telling me right now. Somebody is asking, what if you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and they never budge? That's a good question, but let's keep going. Hold on.
I wake up in the morning and I say, "Good morning, honey." He was sometimes I walk past.
Like, what's wrong with this? That's weird. Like, good morning, okay. Sounds like it's not really a morning person. It's like,
well, and I kept doing this. And one morning he woke up and said to me, "Good morning, baby," and kissed me on the forehead.
oh.
I say this thing they work.
All right, so now there's more to this. Let me see. Somebody is saying something. Chidima says realistic versus unrealistic expectation. Managing your expectations. Yes, that's one half of it, right? That's one half of it. I'm going to give you the second half here in a second. Managing your expectations is one half of it. But again, this is a reminder. If you've listened to me long enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Somebody said, what if you simply just tell him that this is my expectations in the morning? Okay, so let's do some quick exercise. Let's use this person's example here. Okay, this person says, what if you simply just tell him that this is, some of you have experience, okay, some of you are still inside of that marriage, right? Tell me what that looks like. You go to say, hey, my expectations is that when you take this book, you put it where it belongs. You put it back. Okay. When you take my spoon, you put it this way. When you wake up in the morning, my expectation is that you say, "Good morning, sunshine," and you kiss me on the forehead. How do you think that's going to play out? Anybody, please in the chat. As a matter of fact, anybody, please, let's engage this conversation. We're in class. Tell me, realistic. Think about it deeply. You have my permission to be realistic, okay? How do you think that's going to play out? If you're like, babe, my normal life, I'm not talking about your textbook. I'm not talking about what your therapist taught you, okay? I'm talking about normal life. You've tried something like this in the past. They told you to communicate. You communicated. How did it work out? Okay? I'm sure it worked out. They said, yes, baby, that makes sense, right? How long did it last after it worked out? How long did it last? Let's just be honest. Be a truth teller today. Be a truth teller today and save yourself. Okay? How long did it work? Let me make sure I pin that to the top. How long did it work? I'm waiting. I'm coming to the chat. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. All right, good. Let me do one more thing before we continue the show. Keep dropping it. I'm coming to the chat in a second. How long did it work? I know it worked for you. You're a special type of person. Your partner was so special. When you communicate, they just hear it, right? They just hear you when you communicate. You don't have to stress it, nothing. They just hear your spirits. They're like, you are aligned. Match made in heaven. Soul ties. Our soulmates fell out of the skies together on different birthdays. How long did it last is the question that I have for you today. Hit the like button. Let me come to the chat now. Thank you. All right. AG Ohio says, waiting you love, no be wanting I want to. I had my expectation. We all had expectations, all right? And like Chidima already said, my advice with regards to your expectation is manage them. Like you manage your regular job, manage your expectation. Okay, don't come and be putting unrealistic expectations on marriage. Like marriage is a human being. The same thing you do at your job, do it when it comes to that marriage. Manage your expectations. Okay. Chidima says it will end in the para. Precisely. Okay, most of the time. Right? No, you communicated quite all right. You said, hey, my expectation is you kiss me in the forehead. Okay. Some of us think we're wiser than Auntie Mildred Okonkowo, right? That, obviously what she did will take patience. It's not like, hey, I'm just going to say good morning to you today and tomorrow it will just work. Obviously, that's not how it worked, right? Life will not say it depends on what. Oh, some last and some don't. Let's focus on this kiss in the forehead one. Let's use something like that or something similar to that. Something that you know that this guy who you said hello to in the morning and he just look at you like this, like that guy is not going to be. He's not going to be as simple, right? It's not that one is even if he eventually worked like because I believe her that he worked eventually, right? But it's not going to be, it's going to test your patience, right? Because remember his expectations. So now a little small resentment is holding because how can somebody just remember what she said, how can somebody just wake up in the morning and not greet? Maybe she wasn't raised that way, okay? Hey, Bao. An insensitive, unromantic man might laugh at your expectation or find it unnecessary. Here I was like, remember, we're not even talking about the kiss. That's just our expectation in our head. But she's now saying just greetings, just normal greetings, right? And she said good morning. At first, like, okay, I guess good morning. We just woke up in the same bed. Why are you saying good morning? Some of us were raised that way. If you were not raised that way, some of us were. We just woke up in the same bed. We're looking good morning. That's literally how some people, a lot of people do it. They're like, they're looking at you like you're weird. Why are you good morning me? Like, they don't mind a kiss. If you want to kiss, come and kiss me. Right? But we just woke up, I'm grumpy, like I'm about to brush my teeth and see about what's going on the rest of the day. Right? But you in your head, you're thinking Nollywood movie. You're thinking around saying Noah and Genevieve. Right? And there's nothing wrong with you. Remember, this conversation is not about something is wrong with that. It's about realizing, first of all, that that's expectations. That's your own expectation. Your own. Remember when she said, is it your expectation? It's mine, right? It's your expectation, right? The problem comes when you're trying to carbon copy paste it over another person. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm just saying, this is probably how you're going to do everything else that has to do with expectations, right? And that can create problems. That can create friction. It has to be what has been common in the relationship. If not, you will be disappointed. Has to be the norm. Right. Now, she did give us a solution that I want us to explore, right? I think that solution is effective, but I think it's effective if you have proper expectations around what that process looks like. Because the way she said it is like, and I know she didn't mean that. She was just preaching, right? The way she said it is like, I just give. And then on the following day, he gave back. No, that's not how it worked. She probably had a lot of frustrating moments before it eventually kind of like I think my wife loves when I do this. It might have been a part of a conversation. It might take him a while to come to that understanding that she loves to get this. It's probably going to create awkward moment for him because remember, that's not how he's programmed, right? What's awkward about kissing on the forehead? I know to you it's not. That's the point. To you it is not awkward. To the other person it's a different story. Just like to you some other things might be awkward, but to them is the norm, right? These are some of the conversations we never have. Let's see here. Yes, so you're correct. AG Ohio has to be the norm for that person. For you might be the norm. For the other person that's weird, right? Sometimes it's easier acting it than saging self, because sometimes you be saying something, the other person is hearing something different. That's literally how it happens all the time. That's all the time, as a matter of fact. That's why we need active listening, right? Because active listening does not require you to have a response right now. It just requires you to hear what the other person is saying, right? And take your time to process it. You don't have, take your time. It's actually easier when it comes to being pragmatic, when it comes to the actual resources needed, right? But it's hard emotionally to not have a response. If somebody will say something to you that trigger you don't have a response, that takes a lot of emotional energy to say, let me think about that. It does. It takes a lot, right? So yes, so let's talk about this. There are two things. It's managing your expectation. The other side of it is you give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. Okay, we're talking about you now. This is not It Takes Two now, right? I don't preach It Takes Two here because, like before on call, we know it takes two. Okay, all right, we know it takes two. All right, we know this already. All right, but all these people that know it, a lot of them are ending up in very bad, broken relationships. Okay, so that's not enough. That knowledge is not enough, right? We're talking about what you're responsible for as an individual. Okay, and what she just demonstrated is that, you know what I want is what I want. All right, I would like some kind of greetings or something, like hello, good morning, something, not just in the morning, right? And then what she kept doing is just say good morning, and however way she wants to, obviously probably not a kiss on the forehead, maybe a hug, maybe good morning my husband, good morning my dear, good morning darling, something. She kept doing that, and then one day, that one day could be 3 years from now. Okay, so she really has to get herself in the mental space where she enjoys giving that to him. Whatever it is that you want other people to give to you, your partner to give to you, you have to be able to give it to yourself first. Either we're talking about money, some type of gesture, some type of behavior, because they are giving you what they've already given you. Of course, factor in C finish, right? Factor in C finish, right? They're giving you who they are, right? So it is what it is. Now, you can communicate and say, hey, it would be so lovely to see you do this, and you can say that, but manage your expectations around that. You just sow that seed, you leave it alone. You keep doing your own part, right? And she said one day, I believe that one day might be never. There's some things that are just going to be never. You're just going to accept it, right? But if you practice this, if you're patient enough to practice this, you will have reciprocations more than an average person. Most people, they don't even try it. They say, he will never do it. They will just conclude that the person will never do it. They've never tried it. If they tried it, they didn't try it long enough. If they tried it, they're trying it from a very empty place. There's no intrinsic value, meaning they're not doing it because it's coming from, they're doing it because they're looking to take. They're giving because they're focused on taking. So they're going to get tired. It's a matter of time. They will get tired of it. It's just going to be another give that you've done, that you're not getting to receive, and you're now frustrated, and there's resentment, right? So, but when you're giving from a place of abundance, right, you're just giving, right? I mean, hopefully one day that thing you fantasized about in your head might come to fruition. But like I said, more than an average person, you will get reciprocation of some sort, right? Especially if both of you are educated on how these things work. AGOIO says some love language matters too. Love languages always matter. Always matter. Now, how many people communicate that may be different from culture to culture depending on what they're exposed to. But understanding where the other person is coming from is what love languages are. That's always going to be a matter thing. Okay? And if that sounds like work, congratulations. Welcome to the real world. Okay? Welcome to the real world. It will always matter. In fact, what we're talking about is essentially that. It's just that you have to dice it, break it down and into different ways to really connect the dots. But essentially what we're talking about is love languages, right? Right? They now have what they call the apology languages. They have all different type of languages depending on what you have expectations around, right? You have that, I forgot the name of the author of 5 Love Languages. He's doing more work around that. Because where everybody is coming from is different, and it's almost like they're asking you to read the minds of your partner. Okay, and I know to a lot of people that sounds unfair, but hey, everything that's worthwhile in life comes at a cost, right? So somebody said, honey, I would really love it if you kiss me in the morning and ask how I slept rather. Yeah, cool, you could say that. There's nothing wrong with saying that, right? What we're talking about is to manage your expectations around that. We're talking about managing expectations at every layer in your relationship and give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. So if he was a partner who has given his, if Dr. Kingsley, right, has been a partner who has given his wife to express her expectations, then she will be able to say that. Now it's left to her to manage her expectations. So it's, you know, what she's responsible for, what you are responsible for as an individual. Manage your expectations and give the other person freedom to express their expectations. Expressing their expectation doesn't mean you have to meet it. Okay, just the fact that they feel free to express their expectation, that freedom alone is bliss. It will create bliss in your relationship. Because what most people don't have is a safe place where they can actually express themselves. And if you can give your partner that, that's it. That's it. That's the end all be all, literally. And that's a very tough thing to do, because your own expectation is always trying to combat with their own expectation. It's real. But once you figure this out, it's bliss on the other side. Somebody said, I have heard all the messages remaining practicals. God bless you both for being mentors even from a distance. Okay, yep. And we try to do the practicals here, but it's very tough. It's very, very tough. Okay. Is Pastor K's dramatic reaction for me? Because he could relate. Where did he go?
Honestly,
All right. Let me see. What else do we have here? Let's see. I'm not sure I can see a teaching this summer from Pastor M and simply scroll past it. That's lovely. Run to watch this video, Mama. Why didn't you see it now? God bless Pastor M. She's okay. These are fans. Let me see if there's anything. I enjoy how your examples are so genuine, practical, and simplifying the mystery of kingdom marriages. You're a blessing. Okay, lovely. Okay. All right, so let me come back to my own chat here, our own chat. Our Lord of languages. Yes, so Brother Ben, shout out to my brother. Yes, Lord, it's all types of different languages out there. You know, don't overwhelm yourself with information overload too, Sha. There may also be other things that happened that PM didn't say. For example, PK may have asked her, this one, you are now doing XYZ. And that may be an opportunity for her to drop a hint. Yes, exactly. There will be opportunities as time goes on in your life that you get to express. And you have to, and expressing yourself, communication has a lot to do with timing. You know, as cute as trust and transparency in communication sounds, timing is everything. There's just some things you're speaking truth to power at the wrong time. If it feels like a lie, they will kick back at you, and what that looks like in real life is basketballs. Okay. And you'll be confused because in your heart you're just speaking the truth. And keep in mind, she also said something. She said if you're one of those men that you don't like, because men also go through that, they don't want to offend you, so they're tiptoeing around what they really want to tell you. We can do that to an extent, but you can't overdo that. Just like any one of these tactics or strategies, you cannot overdo it. At some point, people, like, she will actually lose respect for you if she doesn't know what's going on with you. Okay. If she does not know what's going on with you emotionally, eventually she's going to know that something is off, and she will lose respect for you because you're not a man who can speak your mind, because you're afraid she might react emotionally. If she reacts emotionally, sometimes it's okay. My rule of thumb is always, if she's going to hurt herself or ourselves, then I have to tell her. If it's just, you're right, I'm wrong, as in the emotional stuff that just cost us, it's opinion. You can have your opinion now, okay? Because more than enough time, I won't let her have the opinion too. Let's just be honest, okay? More than enough time, I will get lost in the source of conversation. No. This is how it is. No. Use a disagreement on something that has nothing to do with us. It's just a conversation, a small debate. Some of those debates will end up in argument that you'll be like, wait, we're just debating. It's not personal, right? And at that point in time, you just relax, you rest, gently. It is okay, right? So it just depends. My rule of thumb is, if it's something that's going to hurt her or our family, then I have to protect her from herself, right? But if it's just me, just opinions, I beg.
You're right.
Some people are not romantic. Showing some love makes them uncomfortable, suspicious, and hostile. You won't even like it because that's not what you fell in love with. If they were never romantic, now you're asking them to be that. You might think that's what you need because you're comparing yourself to other people, right? But you probably will end up getting what you're asking for. It won't feel authentic, right? So I always tell people, if somebody was not romantic when you got with them, then they are showing romance in a different way. You need to be content with that. Maybe there are other issues in the relationship that's making you feel like maybe if they just kiss you on the forehead, maybe finally you get what you're looking for. Somebody said you give to someone that wants to receive. Yeah, definitely. You don't want to. That's a loaded statement. Actually, there's so many scenarios that came to my mind. I'm a fan of Pastor M, but I would have appreciated if she shared some frustrations along the way. I know. But you can relate with, there's no way that just went straight from that point to that. It's a journey, right? I'm sure there are other messages where they probably shared some of those frustrations too, right? But it's good that we're saying it right now. We're adding some context to that. Yes, when you give, you will receive. You might not receive directly from that same person, but you will receive. It's a life principle, okay? When you give and you want to take, is that take, you will not know peace of mind. Is that take that you will just end up in. You'll be struggling to take for a long time. All your energy will be wasted in that. But when you give, okay, of course, give from a place of abundance, right? You will receive. It's inevitable, right? So it takes you having to trust, though. You have to trust the process. There will be frustrations. The road down to receiving might be rough sometimes. And sometimes the people you're expecting them to receive from, it's not going to come directly in that same way you think it should come. It's not going to come like that, right? But you will receive. Eventually you start to recognize that, oh, that's that giving that's showing up in all kind of different ways. And they tend to come from multiple angles, not just that one lane that you're focused on, right? So focus on giving. If that's not enough for you, that means you're not giving enough to yourself. Give enough to yourself. Okay, let me share 2 expectations among many I had, and the one that worked and the ones that did not. So I believe that if we have any disagreement, we sort it before going to bed. Not too, I know where this is going. But my husband does not belong to that WhatsApp group. He needs time to cool off. Sometimes that means in the morning. Yep. Which mean by next day or longer. That's actually me on the opposite direction. As you can tell, I'm a quote unquote communicator. You know, whenever I do this to you guys and it's like I'm dragging you guys more, right? It's because I can relate. Okay. I'm that quote unquote, I'm a communicator, assertive, says as you feel. Well, when you end up marrying to another person, their way of communication, their love language is different, right? Their apology language is different. The way they express themselves is another language entirely, okay? As a matter of fact, you have no idea what happened in the first 18 years of their lives. That person, right? Then you go sit shaggy, and then you course correct, hopefully, or you use coconut head and end up in divorce court, right? What do they say in all of this, especially religious setting? Never go to bed angry. It's not that simple. You're dealing with another human being. It's not that simple. You know? So, but there you have it. It means next day, he does not like when he's angry, and I have come to accept to give him that space. 7 years later, we're still working on it. It is what it is. Welcome to the real world. Okay? Welcome. Eventually, once you become a master at managing your expectations, and you give your partner the freedom to express their expectations without holding your own feet to the fire. You're not a god. You're not going to feel their complete need. It's not going to happen, okay? But they feel the freedom. They can express it without judgment, right? Once you master that, especially you now have a partner who masters that on their end too. Exactly, right? So this conversation we kind of went everywhere, but that's the key that I want you to master, okay? 1, manage your expectations. 2, give your partner the freedom to express their expectations. Okay, let's add a 3. 3, You don't have to fulfill their expectations. You don't have to. You're probably not going to need to fulfill their expectations. They just need to feel heard. They just need to feel like somebody is hearing them out. They need to feel a sense of a safe space. That's all it is. 99.999% of the time, that's all it is. Okay, but after time, more than after time, people are actually trying to express. They can't express because me too. Can I say something too? Can I finally say something? Right? Even at the professional level, people are even at the professional level. You have people that don't know how to just. You hear things like, "Well, let me know once you're finished, so that I can say something." If you say something like that at the professional level, you deserve to be fired. You don't know what you're doing. You shouldn't have to say that. If you have to say that, you're caught up in your emotions already. Listen to me what I just said. Many of you are professionals at work. If you have to say, well, let me know once you are finished, because now you're doing basketballs, you can feel it. You're walking on eggshell around each other, but you're trying to be professional. So you now frame it in some English accent. Well, let me know when you're finished so I can say something. If you have to say that, you're already in your feelings. You're not a professional person. Stop lying to yourself. Okay? Let them actually get it out. Okay? It's actually better that you basketballs them and talk over them than you to say that condescending thing right there. Easier said than done. Okay? But we're talking about emotions. Okay? Emotional intelligence is being taught in corporate now. Go figure. Okay? That cooking every day was not my thing, and I made him understand and it's okay to eat out, or he can cook too. On this one, I won because sometimes he tell me not to cook and take some break. See? Let me know you are finished equals to passive aggressive. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about, Chidiman. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, shout out to Pastor Mildred and Pastor Kingsley for doing the Lord's work. We got some more stuff to cover today. Thank you for engaging me, guys. I always enjoy this when I get to engage. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you are notified whenever we go live. If you like this segment, you're definitely going to like the next one. I'll be right back.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.